What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HnH Podcast. I am your co-host, Humzahs Rana, joined by my older brother, Humzahs Z. Rana. Honestly, we're just going to go straight into it. The Dallas Cowboys destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21 this past weekend. Crazy game. We'll get to that super shortly, but Humzahs, how are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm doing absolutely amazing. Humzah, another great introduction by yourself. Thanks again, everyone, for listening on YouTube and Spotify. We really do appreciate everyone's support. We have made our way to 80 subscribers on YouTube, guys. We're almost there at 100. We appreciate everyone supporting us since the beginning of August. We are almost there. 100 subscribers is right around the corner. We're looking forward to that moment. And, yeah, like I said before in previous episodes, there's more content on the way for you guys. But, man, the excitement I have right now, unbelievable, dude. The Dallas Cowboys picked up a massive victory against the Philadelphia Eagles, who choked a 21-0 lead, Humzah, against the Dallas Cowboys. Our Dallas Cowboys. You see me wrapping the hoodie right now. Like, vibes are unbelievable right now for the Dallas Cowboys. Eagle fans are going to say, oh, you guys are acting like it's your Super Bowl. Oh, you guys are, on top of the world. They don't understand that every game from now on is like a Super Bowl playoff game for us. So the fact that the Dallas Cowboys did what they did, Humzah, was unbelievable. Humzah, I want to hear from you, man, first. Like, dude, what were your thoughts on that comeback? What were your biggest takeaways from the Eagles' choke job and the fact that Jalen Hurts in this offense is really not very good, and Quinnen Williams and this defense is really stepping up for the Dallas Cowboys. Humzah, we were obviously watching that game together. It was electric down here. Man, take me through your thought process through the game, and when did you think the Cowboys were going to start to come back from that game?
I mean, when we were watching the game, I was the optimistic one throughout the entire game. I'm like, dude, honestly, after the first drive, you're like, you know what? They're not going to score again. They scored again, and I'm like, not even joking. This time they're not going to score. They scored again, but I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I know our offense is starting off a little. I know our offense is starting off a little slow, but Dak with Pickens and CD, the CD drops were like low-key pissing me off. But CD, like, he's still one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's obviously gonna fix that. But throughout the entire game, I was super optimistic. I knew we weren't gonna go out without a fight. And then boom, we came back. A lot of self-inflicting wounds Dallas had. A lot of fumbles, a lot of, offsides or, the turnovers. This is a game, honestly, without, Dallas, shooting themselves in the foot early on. You never know. Maybe it could have been 35-21, or it could have been, an even wider margin than that. But throughout the entire game, super, super optimistic. Dak plays, an incredible game against the best defense in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles do have the best defense in the NFL, and this Cowboys offense just came back. I'm curious to... I didn't even know Jalen Carter was playing. I didn't realize he was playing that game. But, yeah, it was awesome. Awesome. My super high emotions after the game. It's such a momentum. It's such a momentum... what's the word? It's such a momentum shift throughout the entire season, and obviously we're super excited for the Thanksgiving game, which we'll get into later. But yeah, Dallas made the season, really fun to watch for, the rest of the year.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Thanksgiving games, Humzah. By the time this video is uploaded, there will be 3 games later today, with the Green Bay Packers facing the Detroit Lions, our Dallas Cowboys hosting Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then later that evening, it will be the Cincinnati Bengals against the Baltimore Ravens, I believe. So, Humzah, this is an exciting time for football for all NFL fans around the world. You hear all along that after Thanksgiving is when the NFL season truly does start. But before we get into Thanksgiving, Humzah, we have to talk a little bit more about this Cowboys comeback, man. And, you talk about culture. You talk about an attitude. You talk about Brian Schottenheimer wanting to change the identity of the Dallas Cowboys. And this is no shot at previous regimes in Dallas, but in years past, we may have lost that game against the Eagles, going down 21-0. But what Schottenheimer has done for this team, that can all be described in one play, man. I want to highlight Elijah Clark, rookie undrafted free agent out of Syracuse. He plays on special teams, and his play, Humzah, it was a viral clip. He gets knocked down 3 times by Canadian Sidney Brown, And the fact that Elijah Clark was able to get back up, maintain his momentum going downfield, and deliver such a massive hit on Xavier Gibson and resulting in a fumble. Although the Cowboys didn't score on that drive, that was a momentum-changing play. I don't think just for that game, Humzah, but I think for the whole season. And you, like I said, you talk about culture, you talk about identity, you talk about playing for one another. It was that play. And that play has described the Dallas Cowboys' effort the last 2 weeks. And I think that play will continue to be a description of how the Dallas Cowboys are going to play here on out, Humzah. Can we just talk about George Pickens for a second? I know we've talked about George Pickens a lot, man. But it feels like as though time and time again, week after week after week, George Pickens is making an unbelievable catch down the field when there's 2-3 guys draped all over him. He's somehow coming down with the ball and be providing an instant boost to the Cowboys offense. What was your thoughts on that George Pickens catch that led to that touchdown later in that drive?
I honestly knew right away he was going to grab it.
Yeah.
It's just like Pickens is so that guy. Honestly, even though, I'm a Cowboys fan, it shouldn't really pay me to say this, but like, he's the best receiver on this team right now. He's better than CeeDee Lamb. As much as I love CeeDee Lamb, but Pickens is the best receiver on this Dallas offense, and he is a top 3 receiver in the NFL. The only people you can debate who are better, obviously, the way Jackson Smith and the Jigba has been playing, obviously give respect to him. He already has 1,300 yards this year. He's on pace for 2,000 plus. He's playing lights out. And then you can also debate Puka Nacua. Other than that, he's better than Jamar Chase right now. He's better than Justin Jefferson. Better than CD. He's better than I can't even think of who else. Better than everyone else. He's better than Amon-Ra. Like, George Pickens right now is playing out of his mind, and I guess that's what happens when you have a contract year. You want to play lights out, and a lot of people were messaging me, be like, "Yeah, you can enjoy this last year with George Pickens. You can enjoy it now, but with the way this team's built and the way the relationship he has with Dak and CD and the relationship he has with Schottenheimer, and even Jerry Jones said it on you watch it a lot, the 103 to 5.
105, 1053.
105, whatever. 105.3. Same thing. He was asked if if we have the cap to pay Pickens, and usually Jerry Jones says his long story about the medieval times to give you an answer, but right away he was like yes. It was the first time I ever heard Jerry Jones give up a straight up answer, and I know I have a lot of faith in this team to bring back Pickens, and I think George Pickens doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to be here, so I think there's a lot of things to be excited for, and man, yeah, Pickens is playing out of his mind. Thank you, Pittsburgh, by the way. People want to say, honestly, that might be one of the worst trades ever for Pittsburgh and just like in general. Yeah. We only gave him a 3rd round pick. If you're gonna find somebody in the 3rd round who's as equivalent and have the same value as George Pickens, be my guest. Try to find it, but you're not going to. The absolute steal from the Cowboys.
Yeah. Pittsburgh trading Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys is worse than the Cowboys trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. But Humzah, I want to quickly talk about too as we move on to this recap of the Eagles game is this impact that the defense has made. Humzah, Quinnen Williams, so far 2-0 as a member of the Dallas Cowboys organization. He has made an instant impact on the defensive line, not only for his own play, Humzah, but I think we've started to see guys like Osa Odigizua and Kenny Clark, and even guys like DeMarvion Overshown and Logan Wilson and Kenneth Murray, who I think is getting a lot of hate in the beginning of the year, rightfully so, but you're starting to see more and more players on this defensive side of the ball making plays because of Quinnen Williams. And I think that is a super underrated aspect of this defense that is not talked about as much as George Pickens and the offense. And he's still under contract for the next 2.5 years. He's only 27 years old. This move by Jerry Jones getting Quinnen Williams, I think, is going to be something that Cowboy fans are going to remember for a long time, not only for the impact he's making this year, but the impact he's going to make for years beyond. And he has just been unbelievable, Humzah. Can you talk a little bit about what you think about Quinnen Williams and his impact here in Dallas?
I mean, he's just been super disruptive ever since he's stepped on the field. We literally saw the first snap against the Raiders. He was already getting to the quarterback. You're like, oh my god, dude. You just see what Quinnen Williams did? I'm like, no, I didn't see it. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, dude, this guy's a monster. Quinnen Williams, his impact on the field, like you mentioned before, it affects everyone in a good way. It affects, Osa Digizua. He's been playing his best 2 games throughout the entire season. These past 2 games against the Raiders and then against the Eagles. Kenny Clark, obviously, we know he's a dog. He's been playing really well. And also, like, despite, we didn't have the greatest pass rush from our edge rushers this past game, but, there was a couple times, they almost got there. Dante Fowler on Jordan Mailata, who's one of the best tackles in football. Just the impact that the interior has, and with Quinnen Williams, Osa, and Kenny Clark, it helps everyone else. Like you also mentioned before, DeMarvion Overshown had his best game. He played really well. He was flying all over the field. There's so many clutch open field tackles he made against Saquon, and they had one really good tackle against Devonta Smith down in the flat. That was huge. Kenneth Murray, he's been getting a little bit of shade, but, he's been stepping up. But this is it's honestly the Quinnen Williams effect. That's what happens when you have a threat like him. And I was, he's been unbelievable. He's super impactful. There's not much you can really do to stop him, because if you want to double team him, okay, you're leaving one-on-one with Osa, you're leaving one-on-one with Kenny Clark. Like, he's the guy that, we needed for quite a while. And you can see, dude, the Dallas Cowboys in the past 2 games have had the second highest run grade. Second highest. They have the second highest run defensive grade.
Yeah,
they're second in the run right now. In the past 2 games, they held Saquon Barkley to 22 carries.
10 rushes for 22 yards, which I'm just trying to say, like, it's unbelievable.
For 22 yards, yeah.
Yeah, 10 rushes for 22 yards for Saquon Barkley. And this Eagles choke job of an organization, like, cry Eagles cry. Like, cannot believe the Eagles did that. And the Cowboys coming back was unbelievable. A great moment for the Dallas Cowboys. That'll do it for our recap for the Cowboys and Eagles, Humzah. But obviously, we're going to preview the Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs, which has now become one of the most watched non-playoff or Super Bowl games, I believe, in NFL history, Humzah. The stage is set. You have the 6-5 Kansas City Chiefs going to Dallas against a 5-1 Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott in there. We'll preview that game in a second, Humzah. But before we do that, we'll give some love to the other games as well that Thanksgiving Day, later this day, actually, when you're watching this video. We'll start off, Humzah, with the Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. Jordan Love going into Ford Field to play against Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Humzah, Jared Goff and the Lions barely snuck away with the victory last week against the New York Giants. And the Green Bay Packers have been kind of up and down this year. Some weeks they look really good, and other weeks they look like they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So, Humzah, what do you think? And we'll do predictions, Humzah, for each of these games. So, what do you think about the Green Bay Packers going into the Detroit Lions to face off against Jared Goff and Dan Campbell?
I think, week 1, I don't think Detroit was really ready for it. They were planning, the entire, week before, or the entire, a couple weeks before their first game without, planning against Micah Parsons. They didn't have much time to really plan against him. And it showed, they're offensively, they couldn't do much. First game with a new offensive coordinator. Everyone thought, including myself, like, dude, Lions might be the worst team in this division. But Lions, obviously, they stepped up. Their defense is, again, really well with Aiden Hutchinson coming back, playing super, super well. I'm going to give the edge to the Detroit Lions here. It's going to be a close game. I think I'm going to go with it's going to go 28-24. I'm going to go Detroit.
Yeah, I agree, Humzah. I do think the Detroit Lions are going to respond, and also I do want the Lions to win one game before they face us next week in Detroit in a massive Thursday night game. But I'm also going to go with the Detroit Lions, Humzah. I'm going to go Detroit. I'm going to go 31-24 for the Detroit Lions. I think Jared Goff's going to have a great game. The Lions do tend to play very well on Thanksgiving, so that's going to be an exciting game.
And Jahmyr Gibbs is playing out of his mind.
Oh, my gosh. He dropped 55 points against me in fantasy football.
Gibbs is playing unbelievable.
And hey, we'll talk about fantasy football after the next segment here, but it's exciting times in fantasy football, especially for me right now. So we both, Humzah and I, have the Detroit Lions picking up a win against the Green Bay Packers. That kickoff is at 1 p.m. later today. Finally, and so the other game straight we'll preview is the 3-8 Cincinnati Bengals playing against the comeback 6-5 Baltimore Ravens. Humzah, Lamar Jackson obviously looking to continue his success as of late. And reports are saying that Joe Burrow may be coming back to the lineup for the Cincinnati Bengals. Humzah, what are your thoughts on that game? Who do you have winning that night game on Thanksgiving Day?
If Joe Burrow is active, I'm going to go with Cincinnati Bengals.
Even with T. Higgins out?
Even with T. Higgins out. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are, a one-of-a-kind duo. Actually, you want to know what's crazy? You know who has the most pass attempts in the NFL right now? Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco? Wow, I didn't know
Joe
that.
Flacco has the most pass attempts in the NFL.
The Eagles should use him.
Yeah, he'd be better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I think, the way the Bengals offense is built, I think their offense completely changes with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's that guy. Like, Joe Burrow, when healthy, he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Probably even top 2. I think last year, he should have been, higher up in the MVP conversations, like I mentioned way before in our first episode. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I think the Bengals are going to come up. I think it's going to be it's going to be another close game, but I think it's going to be another Joe Shiesty, last minute comeback. Not comeback, but...
So what's the score here you have?
I'm going to go with 21-17.
21-17 Bengals, okay. I'm going to disagree with you, Humzah. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here in this one. I think the Ravens are starting. I think they've won 4 or 5 games here in a row. They're starting to pick it up here now in a division game, Thanksgiving evening. I think that defense is really going to show up. And obviously, Joe Burrow hasn't played in a long time. I think obviously it's been a couple months now. You don't know how his health is going to be. And I just think Lamar Jackson and that offense is slowly starting to play really well. And I think they're going to continue their winning ways. So I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens picking up a victory, 27-23. I think it's going to be, again, a very entertaining game. Anytime you have 2 division rivals playing against each other on Thanksgiving, it's going to be an exciting game for sure. But I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens on that one. And Humzah.
Yeah, I'm actually going to change my score because I realized how bad the Bengals defense is. I'm going to go 38-35.
38-35. Okay, I respect that. And here we go, man. The game that everyone's looking forward to, and I'm gonna apologize. No, actually, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm talking directly to our Cowboy haters and the people watching this video who are not Cowboy fans. This episode is going to be, in large part, highlighting the Dallas Cowboys' recent success and how we're going to come back and win the Super Bowl this season. No, I don't know about that. But listen, man, the Dallas Cowboys against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. A little stat for you, Humzah. Currently in the season, the Kansas City Chiefs are 1-4 on the road. And so the Chiefs will be flying to Dallas to play against Dak Prescott and the boys. Man, this game is super exciting. And considering what the Cowboys did against the Eagles, the expectations and the level of excitement for this game has increased tremendously. You have a high-powered offense in Dallas Cowboys and a now mid to above average defense playing against one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Patrick Mahomes. Humzah, I cannot wait for this game. Dallas Cowboys have that nice throwback Thanksgiving uniforms. I believe the Chiefs are wearing white jerseys, so it's going to be an unbelievable jersey game. Super excited, Humzah. Before I get into my predictions and stuff, walk me through your thought process. A, about the Dallas Cowboys always playing on Thanksgiving, and number 2, your expectations on this game, Humzah. I know we're obviously super excited, and this is going to be unbelievable.
If you watch the way the Chiefs played last week, they played super conservative. That's basically another playoff game for them. I think this game is going to be the most non-playoff game regular season. Yeah, the most playoff game in the regular season, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, the way they played, dude, they gave the ball to Kareem Hunt 30 times. Kareem Hunt was getting the ball. They were playing super conservative against, obviously you have to do that against that Colts defense. Reports that Isaiah Pacheco will be back for this game, Thanksgiving. I think, the Chiefs offense, obviously they're going to be better. In terms of the Dallas defense, again, like you said before, all Dallas has to do is be mid to, above average. They've been playing really well. Again, they've stopped the run, but am I really going to say that, this Chiefs O-line is going to, am I really going to say that this Chiefs O-line without Trey Smith is going to let Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt run for 100 plus yards, and especially the way this Dallas defense has been playing, I think Dallas is going to be able to shut down the run. And once you do that, obviously shut down the run, you can't really pass the ball as much. So what I'm going to do, also we don't know if Trayvon Diggs is going to be back this week. He's reportedly eligible to be back, but
yeah, I don't know if they've opened up his 21 practice window yet. So I think
it was because of his concussion. There's not like a you can be back next week. It's like you have to miss 4 games.
Okay.
4 games. So like this game he would be eligible. Again, we don't know, but again, also this Dallas offense lights out. Super curious to see if Trent McDuffie is going to be motioning on, what is he going to be guarding Pickens, or if he's going to be on CD.
Yeah.
That's going to be, again, fun to watch. I'm going to go with the Cowboys to come up with a win. 28-21. Actually, no. 31-21. Dallas comes up with a win. I think Dallas is going to be hot in the second to third quarter, and then I think the fourth quarter we slow down a little bit, maybe just get a field goal. But I think Dallas is going to come up with a win for sure.
I honestly think Humzah, I don't think I've been more excited for a game in a very long time. You look what you did against the Raiders, and people were saying, "Oh, it's the Raiders." They go down 21-0 to the defending Super Bowl champions. Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Jordan Phillips, Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, all of these star players for the Eagles gloating around the Dallas Cowboys, thinking they're going to win that game. And Dak Prescott leads that comeback. Quinnen Williams, we've seen reports being the true leader in that locker room. I talked about Elijah Clark and Brian Schottenheimer changing the culture of the Dallas Cowboys. I fully expect the Dallas Cowboys to continue this momentum, Humzah. I have the Dallas Cowboys picking up this victory 35-21 against the Kansas City Chiefs, Humzah. I think Javonte Williams is in for a big game. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, I think, are going to start to get back their chemistry. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, after a bad game, he always comes back and responds. George Pickens is continue to do George Pickens things, Humzah. So this is an exciting opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys. And we talked about it before, and I said this a couple weeks ago. I'm not guaranteeing the Cowboys to make the playoffs here. I did say, however, that the Cowboys will make it interesting coming to the end of the year, and you've already won 2 in a row. If you pick up this victory, you're setting yourself up in a massive game next week against the Detroit Lions, Humzah. And the schedule after this is the Chiefs, the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the LA Chargers, the Washington Commanders, and then the New York Giants. These are all winnable games for the Dallas Cowboys here on out. You got to put yourself in a great position to have success into the playoffs. Give me the Dallas Cowboys 35-21, Humzah. And on top of that, Post Malone performing at halftime. So that's going to be, obviously, you and I are big Post Malone fans.
I'm not the biggest.
No, you like Post Malone. Don't
more so you. I don't listen. I don't turn on my phone and put up Post Malone. If he plays, he plays. I'm not gonna.
I would say
no Post Malone.
I would say I do. I don't mind his country's part, his country touch, but his OG stuff was a lot better, I think, in my mind. But regardless, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and Post Malone will be performing at halftime of that game. So Humzah, I'm super excited, man. You got Dak Prescott, you got Patrick Mahomes. This is gonna be the start of something special this year, and I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think. It's gonna be a super exciting game.
Let's do
I don't think Mahomes has lost to Dallas yet since he's been in the league.
I think we've only played them once so far. That was in
twice.
20. No, I'm pretty sure it was once.
No, we could play them in 2017.
That was Alex Smith.
Was it?
Yeah, when Alex Smith threw that pass to Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill? Okay.
That was the crazy play.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's going to be a super entertaining game for sure. Also, I didn't know that DeMarvion Overshown and Mahomes kind of grew up together.
Yeah, so there were reports that, so I saw that too as well. DeMarvion Overshown, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Yeah, when he was in elementary school, I think Mahomes was in high school in the same town, and then Mahomes would go back to that high school, to the elementary school, and they would do it was essentially an opportunity for elementary schools to look up to high school kids, and Mahomes is one of those high school kids, and DeMarvion Overstone was one of those elementary school kids. They grew up in East Texas together, so that it's a pretty cool
And like
story.
Overshown and Mahomes' like younger brother were in the same classes or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah.
saw that too. So let's do this right now. We have some little bit of time in our hands, and this might be a shorter episode for you guys because we want you guys to be able to watch these Thanksgiving games. Let's hear it first. Who's going to score first for the Dallas Cowboys? Who's going to score first for the Kansas City Chiefs? I'll let you go first.
For Kansas City, I'm gonna go Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice is gonna score first. I think for Dallas, it's gonna be Jake Ferguson because Kansas City does not know how to play defense on a tight end.
You read my mind. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson for the Dallas Cowboys, and then for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm going to go Xavier Worthy. It's going to be some sort of jet sweep or something in the red zone, and he's going to get it. He's going to get a touchdown.
Oh, there goes Worthy.
But Humzah here, we got a couple weeks left here. Cowboys at 5-5-1. Do you think the boys make the playoffs?
Yes, but this is what has to happen though. If Dallas loses this Thursday, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
You're right.
The biggest must-win game for the rest of the season is against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
If Dallas wins against KC, but they lose against Detroit and they win out, Dallas only has around a 50 to 60% chance of making the playoffs. If Dallas loses to Kansas City, but wins out for the rest of the year, they have an 82% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think because then people might asking, oh, why? Because the NFC games are bigger and they're more impactful for the not what they don't do points for in the NFL. They do head to head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that obviously is gonna hurt. Also, the way the NFC North is with Chicago and Green Bay and obviously Detroit, that's another division that's gonna probably have three teams that are gonna make the playoffs, and also the 49ers just won the other day, and that's also gonna be a tough race in the NFC West. That's also another potential division that can have three teams to make the playoffs. So yeah, it's gonna be a very entertaining season to end off with. Would you be? Let me just say this. You say Dallas wins on Thursday, but then we lose to Detroit, and then we win out. How disappointed will you be? If Dallas will have a 10-6-1 record, then they wouldn't make the playoffs with that.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed. I think you got to win next week against the Detroit Lions. It would be nice to win this week against the Chiefs, and I think the Cowboys are going to win both games, frankly.
But what does that say for Dallas, though? Dallas ends off the season as, okay, they're one of the better teams in the half of the season, but just because of how poorly they played in the beginning of the season, it's unfortunate Dallas couldn't make it. Does that send a message throughout to the entire NFL for next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does. Because you start to see this offense. Offense has always been consistent. The issue for the Dallas Cowboys this year has been our defense. And you're starting to see now the impact that Quinnen Williams and all these guys returning are making for the Dallas Cowboys. You now go into a full off season and hopefully have a nice draft if we don't make the playoffs. There's some big time players, in this coming draft. You talk about Mansour Delane, talk about Caleb Downs, talk about all these Malik Muhammad. Like there's some studs on the defensive side of the ball in this NFL draft. You go out there, you draft well, and you come back next year. I think it's possible, but
there's also one person I just want to mention and give a lot of credit for in Dallas. Despite even though he got Moss, I wouldn't necessarily say it's his fault. It was just an unbelievable grab by Devonta Smith. But Kalen Carson, he has been playing very well.
He has been.
He has been playing very well. I don't know if the report says that he was cramping and he wasn't able to continue to play the game, but he's been doing very well. Savon Rebel, again, he's been doing really well. I really want to see Diggs come back and just to see the rotation of, Diggs. Also, we didn't mention that Dallas cut Kyrie Elam.
They did. The Dallas Cowboys did cut Kyrie Elam, former first-round pick, and the Dallas Cowboys traded a fifth and a seventh or something for him.
No, it was just a fifth.
So, just a fifth. So, that's unfortunate that we wasted a fifth-round pick. Kyrie Elam, I think he was an okay DB, but his pursuit angles were really bad. You saw that all against the Denver Broncos, but That's breaking. Yeah, that was a little tough news. But Humzah, before we end the podcast, and I have some breaking news coming out of the Ottawa Senators and the NHL. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through every single game, and then you're gonna tell me who you think is gonna win, and then I'll also respond. So we obviously went through the Thanksgiving games. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm going to go with the Bears.
I'm gonna go with the Bears as well. 49ers against the Cleveland Browns.
I'm going to go Cleveland.
Cleveland, Shadur Sanders. We didn't talk about that,
defense,
dude. Shadur Sanders.
That defense is unbelievable.
I'm
Myles Garrett is on pace to break the season sack record right now.
Okay.
Myles Garrett's unbelievable. He should be unanimous defensive player of the year.
I'm gonna go San Francisco on that one. Jacksonville Jaguars against the Tennessee Titans.
Give me the Titans.
Okay, Titans will pick up their second win according to Humzah. I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Divisional
Houston. What?
I said it's a divisional game. It's a rivalry game. I think.
Okay.
That's why I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
The Houston Texans against the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm gonna go Indianapolis.
Okay, I'm also gonna go Indianapolis. The New Orleans Saints, Tyler Shough and Miami Dolphins.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. Tyler
Shough. Yes, and shout out to a good buddy of mine from work. He's been begging me to talk about Tyler Shough. Or is that Shough or Shough? Tyler Shough. Okay, so the New Orleans Saints, rumors have it, they're making their way potentially to the CFL next year. But the Saints, I think they have a good future. Tyler Shough. Shough. Yeah. Tough loss last week, but I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins as well. Sorry, I'm going with the Saints.
He's 26 years old. He's a 26-year-old rookie.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm going to go with the Saints over the Dolphins. The New York Jets against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go a little faster here.
Atlanta.
I'm going Falcons as well. Cardinals versus Bucks.
Well, actually, I don't know. Baker just got hurt. I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm also going to go Arizona on that one. Rams and Panthers.
Rams
as well. Vikings or Seahawks. We're picking all the same teams. I'm going Seahawks as well. Bills and Steelers.
I'm going to go Pitt.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I was going to go Pitt, but I don't want to be the same as you. I'm going to go Buffalo. The Raiders and Chargers.
Chargers.
Okay. I'm also going Chargers. Denver Broncos against the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, Denver for sure.
Denver as well. And finally, Monday night, the New York Giants against the New York Giants against the New England Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots, obviously.
I'm also going to go Patriots as well. Quick, before we end the podcast, here a shorter episode for you guys, and we appreciate all your support.
What was the breaking NHL news?
I have that right now. Again, I want to thank everyone for their support. Brady Tkachuk, captain of the Ottawa Senators, is going to be back in the lineup on Friday against the St. Louis Blues. Brady Tkachuk suffered a wrist injury that required surgery, and he was out for 6 to 8 weeks. Time flies, man. The Ottawa Senators have been... Right now, the Ottawa Senators are the only Canadian team in a playoff spot. The Ottawa Senators have been red hot. They haven't, they've won. They have points in, I think, 13 of the last 15 games. That's without Brady Tkachuk. So Brady should be coming back. All signs are pointing towards his return on Friday against the St. Louis Blues. But yeah, man, a little bit of a shorter episode for everyone today.
I'll do my mini mock. First 5 picks.
You want to do that right now?
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna end now.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You can quickly do that right now.
Okay. I'm gonna do a mini mock draft. I'm just gonna do the first. Should I do 5 or 10 picks?
Just do 5.
Okay. I'll do the first 5 picks, and this is just if the season ended now. This is what the picks would be. So with the first pick goes towards the Tennessee Titans. Their defense is abysmal and their offense is abysmal. I'm thinking, they desperately need an edge rusher. They're gonna go with Ruben Bain, the edge rusher out of Miami. Teaming up again with his former teammate Cam Ward. The Giants right now have a second pick in the draft. As much as it pains me to be able to pick this guy and how overpowered the future and this Giants defense, they're gonna go with standout linebacker out of Ohio State, Arvell Reese. pairing up with Abdul Carter and that nasty Giants defense, that's going to be a issue to deal with for years to come. Right now, the Saints are on the clock with the third pick. Despite, everyone saying quarterback, they drafted Tyler Shuck in the second round for a reason, and I think he's been playing well. And I think if they miss with him this next year, the next quarterback draft class in 2027 also looking good too. So I think, I'm just going to go with best player on the board, and that's going to go safety Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. Then we have, why is it not scrolling? The New York Jets are up on the clock, and they're going to be the first team to take a quarterback. They're going to go with probably the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. And then the Las Vegas Raiders are now on the clock. Honestly, because I'm not sure if Dante Moore will be declaring this year. I think, they definitely will go quarterback. They're probably going to get it. They just fired Chip Kelly, their offensive coordinator. And I honestly think a perfect offensive coordinator role for the Las Vegas Raiders will be our good friend, Brian Daboll. I think he would do very well in that Vegas offense. I think they could definitely build around with that offense with Genti and Bowers. They need a quarterback, and they're gonna go with Alabama's quarterback Ty Simpson with the 5th round, and that will conclude my mini mock draft. The first 5 picks: first pick Ruben Bain Jr., second pick Arvell Reese, with the 3rd pick Caleb Downs, 4th pick Fernando Mendoza, and the 5th pick Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I love that from you, Humzah. And we will also be doing more mock drafts.
We'll be doing full first round mock drafts later on in the season.
Okay, you interrupted me there. Yeah, as we get closer and closer to the draft. And also, I'm thinking, Humzah, we can maybe, during the actual NFL draft, maybe we just do a live stream. I think that'd be fun, a whole live stream for the whole draft. Have people watch us. That could be a lot of fun for us. And we'll get more of that out to you guys eventually. But on my behalf, I want to thank everyone for the support. We have 80-something subscribers, guys. Please get us to 100 subscribers. It takes less than 1 second to smash the like button and subscribe. We really do appreciate everyone's support. Go Cowboys. Massive game this week for many teams. For all of our American viewers, wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving and enjoying your time with your family and your friends. And for all of our Canadian viewers, it's just another Thursday for us. But Humzah, if you want to close it up for us, that'll be great.
Again, we appreciate you guys making it all this way. Dude, I've been stuttering a lot. It's really been pissing me off. We appreciate you guys making it this far. Again, like we said in the beginning, you can watch it on YouTube and Spotify. Spotify has been doing really well. We appreciate all of the Spotify listeners. Again, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Press the subscribe button. Press the notifications. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at the HnH Podcast. Again, we really appreciate you guys' support. And once again, we'll see you guys soon.